Okay, so now it's one thing you're aware of your sabotaging behaviors, you're aware of your sabotaging negative self-talk. How do we change it? So this is one thing 4 years ago, almost now, when I was living with my brother for months. I would go to this intensive therapy all day long about changing your thinking, changing your thoughts. And then when I would come home, I was expected to fill these charts in. Okay, here's my trigger. I'm sad. Okay. My thoughts. I'll never succeed. Feeling. Hopeless. Behavior and action. Of course, I just stayed home and in my bed. Positive consequence? Well, at the time, I was awarding my feelings. Negative consequence? Now I felt guilty, I felt stressed, I felt tired. I wasn't doing anything to benefit myself. Okay, how do you cope with your distressing situation? Here you have your distressing situation. I'll use the example, I am unable to go out to group dinners, socializing. If we were all sitting at a table and I had to walk into that table, for some reason I would be ridiculously anxious, even though I know all of you, and would feel like this was the most terrible thing that was coming, and I would be probably thinking about it for days. Old coping strategy, I probably would not go, perhaps, or if I would go, I would sit there totally introverted, not say anything, get sick to my stomach, anxiety out the roof. Unhealthy consequence would be, one, I basically made myself more introverted, I got sick, I didn't help myself in creating any relationships, anything like that. So, before, when I wasn't aware of how to acknowledge my sabotaging thoughts, I could not fill this chart in. I could not. So what I'm saying is it's not going to be easy for you to say, oh, well, here's my new coping strategy, this is what I'm going to do. You can't just say, oh, this is what I used to do, this is what I'm going to do now. You have to work with it. You have to try. So my brother would sit there with me, just like I can do now. I can easily come up with a plan. I would be like, oh, well, here's what I'll do now. But I would like almost cry. He'd be like, oh, well, what would you do? What are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. Because you think at the time, this is all there is to it. This is how it is. But it's not. So you have to work with it and find a new way. If you can't find a new way, what do? You go to your support team. You go, you email us, you talk to your group, you talk to your people that are closest to you that are working on this with you so they can help you. You need to vocalize your situation. Some of you are starting to talk out on the blogs. This is great because you're seeing how we can help as a team. Just now in the meeting, by vocalizing, you hear people respond back. What it does is it takes your thinking that you think is logical, but it's not. It's illogical. And it helps you to form different thoughts. So by talking in a group, you're able to recognize, oh, so wait, you think of it like that? Wait, oh, you're thinking that too? Now you know you're not alone. Or someone else tells you from a different angle, and then you can see it from another angle. So before going into big groups, I can't do it. What did that happen? Old coping strategy. Now I'm not developing new relationships. I'm not growing the relationship that I have. I'm not releasing any stress. I'm not unwinding. I'm not doing anything for myself personally. I'm introverting, crawling into a shell, and not developing. Unhealthy consequence, all of that. I'm becoming sad. I'm becoming hopeless. I'm feeling like, what's the point? And this is a cycle. New coping strategy. Okay, I read the menu before I go, so I'm prepared as to what I'm going to choose. That's a big deal for me. Another thing is, Sean knows, like, the group bill thing. Like, that's a huge stressor for me because money is a big stressor. So we talk about it. Sean knows how I feel. He just knows that when that part comes up and all the people fret about what they're doing, I'd rather just split it up, but that's not how it works. So I leave and he just does it. That's one thing. Another thing is I sit on the end of the group instead of within the group. Probably my goal should be to learn to sit in the group. Another thing, I actively try to participate in conversation, even though it would be so much easier to just shell myself and not talk.